I'm at the Mount Olivet Cemetery, lot 49. My tree. This is where Bridget, Carey, and a few of her daughters are buried. As you can see, they're covered up with grass. Here I am at the Mount Olivet Cemetery again, after uncovering all the dirt around each grave. Bridget, Carey, Halasey. Catherine Halasey. Julia Halasey Pommerenke, which would be Bob McCarter's biological mother. This is Mary Halasey II, another daughter of Daniel Halasey. Julia was a daughter of Daniel Halasey. Catherine was a daughter of Daniel Halasey. Bridget was the wife of Daniel Halasey. And Samuel McCarter is the husband of Agnes Halasey McCarter. Agnes is buried here next to Samuel, but there is no grave, no tombstone for Agnes, but she is buried here.
You got them all cleaned off good.
Grosse Point. This is a Grosse Point area, a real nice area. off of Jefferson. Cashews off of Jefferson. We're going towards the Convalescent Center, St. Anne's. This is where Teresa resided before she passed away. Detroit. City Courthouse. Going to Bob McCarter's house. this.
You know, it's this, well, we know that. Look at how she doesn't look again. She doesn't find for anything. You know, she go off with no money in her pocket.
Okay. Why don't you stay there, Bob?
Look at the red light. Huh?
Yeah.
You don't. Yeah, just. I can just sit down and talk to you.
That's your fault.
I'll sit right over there. I can sit facing you right there.
It's like, all right. She will be all right.
Make sure it's rolling. Okay.
What you think?
Sit there. That's going. That's rolling. All right. What I should do. This. I just bought that microphone.
Well, what, can't you get any help from this, can't you get any help?
So.
Oh, for, no, you gotta well, this now. They're charging her, for Kelly, $100 a day, $3,000 a month,
Oh my gosh.
to keep Kelly, because she makes so much money. Now, she's listed herself, see, she's not listed herself. She's commercial.
Okay. Try that. Zoom back a little bit.
If you don't have the $100 a day, what do they have to do? You can also,
Okay, Bob. I'm talking with Bob McCarter. What's your address here, Bob?
35116 Dumbarton.
Dumbarton, and that is Halasey Township,
Township,
Michigan. And your full name is Robert
John McCarter.
John McCarter. Okay. I gotta interrupt one more second. I gotta mark these off as I ask these to you.
Okay.
Then I know what I've asked you. Okay. Okay, some of these questions, Bob, are kind of ridiculous. Are you male or female? That's what it says. Got your address. What state were you born in?
Michigan.
What city?
Detroit.
What hospital were you born in?
Providence.
Okay, as we currently speak, which is today, June. This is June 19th, 2000.
Right.
And how old are you?
74.
And what is your birth date?
February 4th, 1926.
And what were your parents' names that you can think of? For the record, anyway.
You know my real parents?
Yeah, give me all of it. Whatever you have.
To the house, it was my mother and my father. I don't know.
You don't know your biological father anyway.
No, never saw him.
And you don't know that on your birth certificate if that is a fictitious name or a real name.
That's a fictitious name.
Right. Which would be Aloysius Myers, which is on your birth certificate.
Yeah.
And who were okay, in your case, who were your parents that raised you anyway?
Sam and Agnes McCarter.
Sam and Agnes McCarter. And Agnes was a sister to Julia, your biological mother.
Right.
Since we're on this question, you believe that Julia might have married a name by the name of Herbert Pommerenke, correct?
I'm not sure they got married though.
Right.
They lived together.
They had lived together. Do you remember? Do you have the address? Do you remember the address that they lived at?
And
Or-
Kaplan. They didn't live together like you live today.
Okay.
Herb would visit her a lot.
Oh, Herb would just visit her. So he had his own place.
He had his own place.
Okay. And do you remember how long she lived at this residence since you were a kid?
25 years at least.
25 years at least?
Yeah.
Okay. And when you were a kid, you lived with Agnes
And Sam.
and Sam, and what was that residence that you lived at?
5744 Phillip, Detroit,
In
Michigan.
Detroit, Michigan. Okay. The only language you speak is English, correct?
Right.
Okay. You don't know what your astrological sign is, right? That's another bogus
I
question.
think I'm an Aquarius.
Aquarius, is that what it is? Are you right-handed or left-handed?
Right.
Are you nearsighted or farsighted?
I just need glasses for reading.
Glasses for reading, okay. Okay, this is a dumb question. Are you overweight or underweight?
Probably
That's-
overweight.
Yeah, like everybody else, right?
Yeah.
What is your height?
6 foot,
Okay, and your height, your weight that you know of,
195,
and your eye color.
brown.
Did your mother have brown eyes? It looks like she had. Did she? Julia?
I think she did, but I'm not
Okay, what about Agnes? She was
She was brown eyes.
brown eyes. Yeah, I think she looked like she had dark. Do you wear corrective lenses? You don't wear.
I think I do.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Social Security number. Are you okay? You are married,
Right.
and your wife's name is, for the record,
Ann McCarter.
Ann?
And Walt McCarter.
Ann Walt McCarter,
W-A-L-T.
and that was her
Maiden name.
maiden name, and that wasn't her biological.
That wasn't her biological parents.
Her biological parent was by the name of Brady. Is that correct?
Yeah, Jim. I think his first name was Jim. Or Edward.
Okay, Brady. B-R-A-D.
B-R-E-D-Y.
D-Y. Okay. Let me think now. But who had reared Anne? Who had raised her?
Furl and Charles Walt.
Okay. See, I got your maiden name. Okay, your name on your birth certificate was Aloysius O'Connor, correct?
Right.
But you believe that was a fictitious name.
I definitely do.
And then you had your name changed
After the World War
after
II.
the World War II,
Right.
when you entered the Korean War, correct?
Right.
You had to change to
Robert John McCarter.
Robert John McCarter. Okay. What is your anniversary date?
November 24th, 49.
1949.
Right.
So you've been married, let's see.
50 years.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah.
Huh. Does it seem like 50 years? 50 something?
No, they went by pretty
Quick.
Yeah.
And where were you married at?
Detroit, Michigan.
And the name of the chapel or
St. Julian's Church.
St. Julian's Church?
Catholic Church.
Okay. How many children do you have?
7.
And can you give me their names? From oldest to youngest, if you can remember.
Robert, Jerome, Patricia, Thomas, Maureen, Mary Jo, Rosemary.
And Rosemary. Okay, and of course, the men still carry the McCarter name, but
Right.
the women, from the oldest to the youngest, what is?
Well, Patty's divorced.
Okay, and what was her married name?
Giordino.
How do you spell that? Yes.
Girodino.
Okay. And then next would be the next daughter.
Maureen.
Okay.
Divorced from Charles Lombardo.
Okay, Lombardo.
Right.
Okay, and then next would be
Mary Jo is married to Michael Watson.
Michael Watson, Watson.
Right.
And they-
Rosemary is married to Glenn, Glyn. Grand, Grand.
Okay. And Mary Jo's husband, or Mary Jo and Rosemary live in the Detroit area.
This area where we live right now.
Right. But Patty,
Patty and Maureen live in California.
California. Okay. And your son Bob lives in
Ann Arbor.
Ann Arbor. Okay. I'm trying to think of what else, so I don't pass it up. Okay, what is or was your occupation?
I was a teacher in CPA.
Okay, when you were a teacher, what years were you teaching, Bob? Can you remember?
1977 to 1997.
And you taught
Accounting
accounting?
at Macomb Community College.
Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you were a CPA and you had your own business?
I had my own business while I was teaching.
Okay.
With Bob and Rosemary CPAs too, and they helped me along the way.
And they helped you along the way, okay.
Matter of fact, Rosemary took over the business.
Okay, Rosemary took over the business, okay. Okay, how many grandkids do you have, if you can remember?
I think it's 18.
About 18 kids.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can remember all their names for the record, but it's...
I'll start with Bob. He's got Beth,
Okay,
Patrick, and Colleen.
okay, and then next?
Tom has got Thomas and Lawrence. And he's got stepkids, James and Peter.
Okay, and then next?
Jerry didn't get married. Well, he didn't have any kids. when he was married.
Okay,
And then Patty has Nicholas.
okay,
Maureen has Aaron, Michael, and Robert.
okay,
Let's see, like Rosie has Holly, Katie,
okay,
Jason, and Brian.
okay.
Did you cover them all that?
Yeah, I think you got them all.
Okay.
Says, what is your race? White that you know of, right?
Yeah,
What is your religion?
Catholic.
Now, were you raised Catholic?
We went to Catholic school all the way through our life.
Okay, do you remember the schools that you went to?
St. John Bertram, St. Anthony, UD High, University of Detroit.
Okay. What is your political affiliation?
Conservative.
Conservative, okay. Do you live, okay, let me ask you this. This isn't in here, Bob, but I'll ask you this. Regarding your political, did you vote when you were 18? Did you start voting?
No, probably I started
When you were
voting
older?
When I was older.
Married and,
Married and started a family.
okay. Do you live in the suburbs or in the city?
Suburbs.
Of course. Getting back to the political, you said were you a fan of Kennedy's at all, or
Kennedy I voted for.
who did you strongly like and who did you strongly dislike out of any, whether it was
I
Republican
strongly
or
disliked
Clinton? And
And
what?
Ronald Reagan is my hero.
Okay. Let's see. You live in a house. Okay. Blah blah blah. As we speak, you live at, what's the address again?
35116 Dumbarton,
In
Harrison Township.
Harrison Township, Michigan. Are you allergic to anything?
Not really.
What's your blood type?
O negative.
O negative?
Yeah.
Okay. Mine's A positive. I donate blood all the time, so
I used to until I started taking medication. Then you can't.
Oh, okay, right. This is a dumb question. What does your voice sound like?
Whatever anybody wants to.
Yeah.
As a receiver, I guess.
Okay, this is a good question. As a childhood up till now, can you remember some names of your pets that you had? Any pets?
We had Prince.
And that was when you were a boy with Agnes?
No, we had Patty when I was a little boy.
Okay, Patty was the name?
Patty
Okay.
was a dog.
Dog?
And we had Skippy, Mole, and Prince.
And Prince.
Right.
Okay. And that's as your childhood or up till now?
Up to now.
Okay. Nickname?
They call me Mac. The old crowd used to call me Mac.
They called you Mac.
But the new people just call me Bob.
Okay, what'd they call? They called you in the Navy. They called you Mac,
The
When you-
first time around, I was McCarter.
right? And that's what they called you in the service also.
Service
Okay.
also.
And then the
when I
second
got
time,
out, then it's Mac. That Mac sort of left me when I left my school friends.
okay, all right,
It changed it to Bob.
okay. So you don't remember, what was your grandmother's name on the father that raised you anyway? Samuel McCarter was your father, correct? That
Right.
raised you. And what were his parents' names?
I think her maiden name was McGuffey.
McGuffey was your grandmother's maiden name. What was her first name? Samuel's parents.
I don't know.
You don't know what her
No.
Samuel's mother's first name? How about his father? Did you know? What his first name was?
No,
McCarter? Okay. Do you know where, you don't know if they were born, they were probably born in Ireland is where they were born,
they were
correct?
born in Liverpool,
That
in
was
England.
Samuel's father was born in
I
Liverpool.
think it's mother and father both were born in
Liverpool.
Yeah.
And Sam was born here
Yeah,
That you
he
can
probably
think of?
was born in Liverpool too.
also? Okay. Do you know what brought Sam here?
Probably a better job,
Okay.
better paying job.
And what did he do? I forget. Was it tool and die?
Tool and die.
Okay. And he worked for Chrysler, I think it said on there.
Yeah, it was Briggs manufacturing and then it turned into Chrysler.
Okay. What was it at first, Bob?
Briggs manufacturing.
Briggs Manufacturing. Oh, okay, yeah. Good engines.
Yeah.
Were there people already there whom they knew, or did they come into the community alone?
I don't really know.
Do you have brothers and sisters?
No.
You're an only child.
Only child.
Blah, 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 blah. Your aunts and what about your aunts and uncles? We'll go with, of course.
On the father's side, the biological father, I don't know anything about.
Right. But Sam.
On Sam's side, we visited in Pittsburgh a couple of his brothers. Joe.
Oh, wow.
Joe was a McCarter.
Okay.
But I can't remember anything else.
Okay, you just remember a Joe. Was it a younger brother, older brother, or do you remember?
I think a younger brother.
Okay. Now, and then on Agnes's side, of course, you didn't know Daniel, so
Right.
Agnes's father, you didn't know him.
I knew their mother, Bridget Carey.
And oh yeah, okay? That's what was Bridget like? What do you remember about Bridget Carey? Anything? I mean.
She was old because she died when I was 13.
Yeah, she was. It was 1938. Was when Bridget Carey Halasey died.
Right.
And
As far as
do you remember anything about Bridget that you?
not really.
Just was she a nice lady? Was she a crabby lady? Was she
She's in between, I'd say.
in between?
Yeah.
Okay, short lady, tall lady that you remember, if you can remember, or
Probably average.
average.
5'10", something like that.
Did she talk a lot, or is she quiet, or?
Well, she was dying with cancer at the time.
She was dying with cancer.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you remember where she passed away at?
She passed away in Detroit.
At Samuel and Agnes's house, right?
Right.
Is that correct?
5744 Phillip.
5744 Phillip is where Bridget Carey had passed on. Let's see. And you just don't remember Bridget? You never really had a chance to talk to Bridget or anything, did you?
Not really. When I was a teenager, you didn't talk much to adults in those days.
Okay. Unless you were spoken to, correct?
Right.
Okay. How about any of Agnes's sisters? What do you remember about Julia, your biological mother? What do you remember about her? Let's get into Julia first.
She was very giving,
Okay.
almost to a point of a negative.
Okay.
She could be persuaded into anything.
Okay.
And
do you remember Julia up to her death? I mean, was she
yeah,
around?
I visited her at the nursing home when she died.
Okay. And that nursing home was?
Maroon Nursing
Home.
Detroit.
Which no longer exists.
Right.
What was her relationship with Agnes, who raised you, which was her sister, actually?
They had a very poor relationship.
Very poor relationship.
Antagonistic.
Okay.
Because of the fact they took me from her when I was a baby.
Right. And do you think it was Agnes's idea to take you and rear you, or do you think Julia?
At that time it would be Agnes's idea.
Okay. And was Agnes financially better off than Julia at the time?
Yes,
Or-
because Sam had a 209 meters job.
Pretty good job, pretty
Yeah.
good paying job for those days, huh?
For those days.
Okay. And what did Agnes do? She was a housewife?
She's a housewife.
Okay. And Julia, you said worked at a
She was a clerk at the downtown Fort Shelby Hotel in Detroit.
Fort Shelby Hotel
Fort
in Detroit, Michigan.
Michigan.
She was a
Downtown.
clerk down there.
She was a clerk.
And she had worked there for years, or?
Well, at least 10 years and maybe 20.
Okay. But you're not sure if she ever married this Herbert Pommerenke,
I'm not sure.
because they're not buried together, they're buried separate.
Yeah,
Herbert Pommerenke's buried in Gethsemane Cemetery
right, Detroit.
in Detroit. And Julia Pommerenke, well, actually Julia could be just Julia Halasey. She's buried in Mount Olivet Cemetery
Right.
on the corner of
6 Mile Van Dyke.
6 Mile and Van Dyke, for the record.
6 Mile and Nichols Road is the same street.
Okay. Was your family a religious family? Was Julia?
I'd say no.
Okay. Was Julia?
No.
Okay. Do you remember, did you know anything about Julia, what her interests were, or what she liked, or what she disliked?
No, I
Or-
really don't.
Don't remember anything about her. Okay, how about
No, what I try to keep both mothers happy, Agnes and Julia, but when they got together there was always friction.
always friction?
So I probably saw Julia on as little as possible because I didn't want Agnes to get mad at me.
Right, and then you said after you were in your 20s, that was the last time?
When I graduated from U of D
Uh-huh.
college,
U of D, that's
University
University
of Detroit,
of Detroit. Okay.
then Sam and Julia got into another battle over me being taken custody of by Sam.
Oh.
So then I said, I'm never going to get them together as long as I live.
And how old were you there? 20?
20, probably 27.
So did they ever get back together?
Not if I can help it.
Right, okay. Let's see here. Okay, you already told me what Julia did. And Agnes was a housewife.
Right.
Did you play with your cousins?
Well, we only had a couple cousins.
Right.
Let's see, we had Tom and Ruth. I didn't know until after during the World War II again.
Okay,
And Patty, the adopted child of Michael.
okay,
Patty. She came into town. She married a blue ball.
right.
But when she came into town, we'd go out and swim and play.
And this was
This was
Daniel's granddaughter, who was a daughter to Michael Halasey, who was a son to Daniel,
right.
and she resided in
Omaha, Nebraska.
Omaha, Nebraska.
Right.
Okay, and you said she lived most of her life. If she's still alive, who knows?
Yeah, she's
She's
in the
Denver?
Iowa, Council Bluffs, Omaha area.
Oh, that's where Patty is now?
Yeah, that's where you.
She's not in Denver?
No, Kate would be from Denver.
Katie Halasey
Right.
would be from Denver, Colorado.
Catherine Holly.
Okay,
Halasey.
but Patty
And then-
Blue Ball.
And then Donald Leo Murphy, Teresa's son.
Hmm.
We were probably as close as could be during our teenage years.
Now, who was Leo Murphy?
Donald Leo Murphy.
Oh, Donald Leo Murphy.
That's
Teresa's son. Teresa's a sister to Julia.
Yeah, now
and
Jackie,
Agnes and-
Gray,
Mhm.
the son of Beatrice,
Right.
I had very little to do with.
Okay. And was there any reason for that? Just
No, just we were not an outgoing family.
okay. All right. What do you remember about Agnes, who raised you? What kind of person was Agnes? You already told me about Julia
I
now.
know when she had a drink of beer, she would be nasty as could be.
Okay, so she did drink.
And didn't take very much drinking to get her nasty.
Okay.
One bottle of beer and she was.
Do you remember what she drank? Oh,
No, I don't know what kind.
so, do you know if Julia drank?
Very little.
She didn't drink much, okay.
No.
Was Agnes a good cook?
Excellent cook.
Excellent cook.
Yeah.
Wow. How about Julia? Do you know anything?
Julia was a lousy cook.
Lousy cook, okay. Did your family take vacations? Very little?
Very little vacations.
Okay. And if you did you go to the same place every year?
No, we wouldn't go to the same place every
No.
year.
But it was right around this area. If you did anything, it wasn't really
We'd go up north Michigan. They went to Canada quite a bit in those days.
Canada? Okay. Okay, so you don't remember any of your grandparents, do you?
Bridget and Carey, I remember. My grandmother.
Just remember, yeah.
A little bit about it, but I never
Do you
saw my
remember-
grandfather.
Do you remember any special stories about your grandparents, which would be Bridget, of course? Bridget Carey, the only one that you know of? No
we
special
didn't talk
stories
about
about her that you can think of?
No.
What was your parents' relationship like? The ones that raised you anyway,
Sam
Agnes
and
and
Agnes.
Samuel.
When they were drinking, they would be nasty and
Towards one another?
yeah.
Okay.
That whole generation didn't show love to each other.
Okay. Would you describe it as warm, formal, loving, stern, demonstrative, stereotypically male, female, or more unusual and equitable?
Stern.
Stern. Okay. Who were you named for? Where'd Robert come in?
Probably St. Robert, but I couldn't tell you much about him myself.
Okay. Of course, McCarter was from Samuel. And you don't know if you were legally adopted, right?
I never was legally adopted.
You was never legally adopted. It was just, yeah. Okay.
Just sort of get taken over.
Right. Did your grandparents live nearby? Which would be Bridget.
Lived, when she was dying, she lived with us in Detroit, but she didn't show up much until she was. I can remember a couple of years Bridget lived with us.
Mm-hmm. And do you, from what you were told anyway, you think that Bridget divorced Daniel?
I think so.
Okay. And that was told to you by your mother, by Agnes, or?
By Catherine.
By Catherine. Catherine.
This is before she died.
Okay. You believe it? Or she told you that?
I believe it.
Okay. She told you that Bridget left Daniel.
Right.
Okay. Because of what now? Do you know? What?
Alcoholism.
Alcoholism?
Yeah.
You like to drink a lot, huh?
Yeah.
And also you said when she left Daniel that
The kids were placed in
orphanages.
Right.
In the Detroit area, I guess, I'm assuming?
No, I would imagine the Marysville area.
Oh, in the Maryville area?
Yeah.
You believe that they were all placed in orphanages?
Yeah, I think they were put in different ones.
Okay.
They were put, they had two and two probably.
Okay. Let's see. The house that you grew up in, did it have any certain smell to it that you remember, or just some certain things about it, or
Well, I remember
anything?
we slept upstairs. It was colder than Walter cheese when it was winter.
And this is when Bridget was living with you, or
No, this was after Bridget.
after Bridget?
Yeah.
Yeah. And what was it? What was it like now?
It was very cold in the attic.
Oh, really? Okay.
It was a typical house of the era.
Okay. And your mom was a good cook, huh?
She was a good cook.
Did your family ever have a reunion?
No. Yeah, I would have gone to it anyway.
Yeah, right. As a teenager, how well did you get along with your parents? Did you get along good with your mom and dad, or
well,
kind of rebellious?
Being an only child, it was very easy to be a wonderful boy.
Right,
I didn't have
exactly.
anybody to play with. So I got along fine.
Did you get anything you wanted, Bob?
I'd say yeah.
Yeah. Did you
Yeah,
take
but-
advantage of it?
I don't think I took as much as I should have.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Were your pets like family members, or were they just like pets? Well, how were they treated? That's a dog, and
Oh, they were treated
pretty good.
Pretty good.
As a boy, what sticks in your head? What do you remember just about? I mean, anything that you can think of when you were a child. Anything that you liked doing, or
I like school.
school?
Yeah.
You're into school, okay. Do you have a lot of neighbor friends, or that hung out with you? Do you remember any
No, we used to.
childhood friends?
Yeah,
that
Bill Sanders, and we used to play. I was a Boy Scout, but those guys would get together.
Bill Sanders? That
Yeah.
was one of my brother's good friends.
Yeah,
He had a funny Bill
Singer,
Sanders.
Frank Teagle.
Oh,
These are the guys that went
for playing ball?
playing ball and going to school with.
Oh, okay.
Grade school with them.
Did your dad shave with a straight razor or an electric razor?
I think it's straight.
Was he a fancy dresser, or did he
When he
dress-
wanted to go out
and
in
dress?
town,
Yeah.
he'd be very
And
fancy.
Agnes was the same?
Well, she wore the clothes at the time. I
Okay.
wouldn't call her
Nothing.
a fashion plate.
How about Julia? That you remember
Julia dressed very nicely.
very nicely?
Yeah.
Anybody get into needlework or woodwork or anything like that?
They used to make afghan little squares that they put together.
I know what you're talking about. Agnes did that?
Agnes.
And Julia?
Bridget did too.
Oh, Bridget did?
Yeah.
She did needlework.
Needlework.
Oh, wow. Any mechanically inclined?
Sam.
Sam was? Being
He
tool and
was-
die.
He was a perfectionist.
Did your family say grace?
No.
Did you sit down at the table together for every meal?
Probably more than they do today.
Okay. About the same time every day?
Yeah.
And it was you and Agnes and
Sam.
Sam.
Right.
No Bridget.
No, Bridget was gone.
Okay. And how old were you? You were 13 when Bridget?
13 when Bridget
Okay.
died.
What did your father's handwriting look like?
Like anybody else's.
Yeah, and your mother's says. Were you considered rich, poor, or middle class? Middle class?
Middle class.
Were times ever tough for you at all?
Not really.
Or was it always smooth sailing?
Yeah. We were one step ahead of the bill collector.
Okay. So you never really heard any stories about your grandparents, did you?
No.
Okay, were your parents outgoing people, or were they just pretty much
I'd say no,
Private?
not- shy if anything.
shy?
Yeah.
And that was Agnes and Samuel. Now, how about Julia? Was she shy, or was she outgoing? Or?
No, she was. They were inward people.
Okay. Do you have a piece of furniture or family heirloom that belonged to your parents or grandparents that you can think of
No.
that you carried on? How did the Great Depression affect your family?
It didn't really affect it that much. Because Sam was at a trade.
Okay. When you think back on your mother and father now, what do you realize about their lives that you didn't understand when you were growing up? If you look back at it now.
Repeat that question.
When you think back about your mother and father,
Sam and Agnes.
okay, what do you realize about their lives? What do you realize about their lives that you didn't understand when you were growing up?
Well, they didn't show love out. You wouldn't say they were really in love.
That they weren't really in love,
No.
just man and woman, and
Right.
raised a kid and worked.
It worked. And
Didn't show affection or
didn't
anything?
show affection.
Oh,
Probably more than anything.
okay. Before I forget it, you said this. Getting back to Julie, your biological mother. She had a boyfriend, Herbert.
Right.
Did you ever meet him?
Oh yeah.
What were they like? Did they show affection or anything, or did?
They were a little bit more affectionate than Sam and Agnes.
Okay. And what was this Herbert like? Herbert Pommerenke.
He would be. He probably would be classified as a loser these days.
Okay. He didn't
He
hold
didn't
the
make
job.
much money or anything else.
Did he work all the time, or did he?
He worked for menial jobs. He worked for a wholesale tobacco company, which is candy and stuff like that.
Okay. What was the name of it?
I don't know the name.
Don't know offhand.
No.
Before he died.
Yeah. But he would be considered a loser because he never made big money.
Okay.
He never made a living wage as far. So he and Julia together had a scrounge.
Oh, did they?
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Probably.
Right.
Because he's the one. Who
But did he seem like a nice guy, or?
Oh, he was a nice guy.
Yeah. Looking back, do you think your parents were happy with the circumstances of their lives?
No, they weren't happy at all.
You don't think they were happy?
No. I think that whole generation was not happy.
Yeah. Did your father have a favorite saying you can remember him repeating, or your mother, Agnes or Sam?
A drunken man's words are a sober man's thoughts.
A drunken man's words are a silver man's sauce?
That's Agnes.
That was Agnes's saying. Okay. And Sam, did he have one?
Not really.
Okay, how about Julia?
No.
She didn't have, that you can think of anyway.
No.
Do you sometimes find their words coming out of your mouth?
Yeah.
Something you pass on?
You can't get nothing for nothing.
Yeah, that was another saying
That was another saying.
that Agnes said.
That's probably Sam.
Okay, Sam said that.
Yeah.
I think I said that earlier.
Yeah.
Or- must run in the blood or something. I don't know.
Yeah. That's the truth.
Yeah. Can you remember the view out of any of your windows in your house?
With Sam and Agnes,
Yeah.
we used to sit on the porch, which was a small porch.
Okay. Now when you were younger, when Bridget was still alive, did she sit out at all, or was she bedridden, or was
She was bedridden.
the whole time that you knew her, actually, that you could remember?
Well, there were times when she came before she contracted cancer that she
Oh,
came with,
and-
then she was real normal.
Real normal,
Yeah.
and she'd talk,
Oh yeah.
and she seemed like a nice person.
I like Grandma.
She was a nice person, huh?
Yeah, but when she got sick, I was kind of nasty to her because as a teenager, I didn't understand.
Oh.
So if she'd want a drink of water, I'd say, well, go get it yourself. So,
Oh, so you were that.
because,
Now you feel bad about it, don't you, Bob?
now I feel bad about it.
When she'd ask for water, do you remember anything she said to you, just asking you to do anything, or
Well, this was just one time she asked for
that
it.
you recalled?
I was too busy to play sports or something.
Oh, I see. And did she do anything at the household when she visited? Just talk to your parents, or did
She
she?
probably cooked.
Oh, she probably cooked too. Bridget,
Yeah.
she was a big cook.
She was good too.
Good cook.
Yeah.
She had to have been with all those kids, right?
Yeah.
That's Bridget Carey Halasey that you're talking about.
Right.
What was your bedroom like? Did you share it with any of your siblings? Well, you didn't have any siblings.
But
so-
Murph
Murph?
Donald would stay overnight sometimes.
Oh, Don would hang out with you.
Yeah.
Okay, Don Murphy, which would be Teresa's son. Teresa Halasey Murphy's son. Can you remember the carpeting, wallpaper, anything in your room that you can really remember that sticks out in your mind?
Just how cold it was at night.
Just the coldness. Do you have any favorite celebrities or anything that you can think of back in those days that you were crazy about, or anything? Any kind of...
Oh, Hank Greenberg was my favorite ball player.
Hank Greenberg?
Yeah.
Remember him?
Yeah, Charlie Gallagher.
Let's see.
Jack Benny we listened on the radio.
Jack Benny? Yeah, I remember. Yeah, Jack
Yeah.
Benny. Did you have neighbor kids over at all?
Not like Rosie does. Rosie has an army of kids going through her
Your
house.
daughter?
Yeah.
Okay.
Rosie.
Did your family eat in the kitchen or dining room?
Dining room.
What did the table settings look like?